Hello, and welcome to another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob. I'm Wayne Highlander, National Sales Manager for Bona Adhesives.
And I'm Rob Johnson, owner of the squeakiest chair in podcast history.
Yeah, try to get that worked out, Rob.
I have been, really meaning to take care of that, buddy.
You know something?
I try not to move.
Well, my boss told me one time he listened back to the podcast, maybe his first and only episode. He goes, "What's going on with that chair?" And I knew that it squeaked already, but I didn't know how bad they came across, so I got riveted on the spot. I've asked you about that chair, and it's been like 9 months. So, yeah,
That chair?
That chair,
that's
yeah.
the one. Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
How you doing? Yes, sir.
happy birthday, buddy.
Oh, thank you, Rob. Yep. You had one. I didn't realize our birthdays are pretty close together.
Yes, sir. Isn't that nice? May and July.
Let me know when I can stop going out and looking in the mailbox for any kind of present, right? I mean, is there one coming? I didn't want to ask. I keep looking.
I straighten that all out with Judy. You should talk to her.
Okay. All right. So there's something coming.
I wanted it to be a surprise.
Oh, well, so far it's been a surprise.
Yeah.
And surprised that I got nothing. All I've done for you. The Lord knows I hooked you up this week, man. I mean, I hooked you up this week big time. We don't have to talk about it, but you know I took care of you, brother.
Oh.
Am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
Right.
I don't know how I'm ever going to,
No.
that's
all
going to be
right.
a tough one to, I'll tell you what I'll do.
Mm-hmm.
Just sit up just a little bit, just
Yeah.
so we can see what's on your chest there.
Oh, my
shirt? There you are. Yeah. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let you wear that shirt the whole show.
Bona Training. I forgot I had the shirt on.
You are definitely part of Bona Training now.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
I think you'll have more fun. You'll have more fun with us than the glue guys.
Well, I don't know. But yeah, it was my birthday, Rob.
What'd you do?
I spent a couple days with a bunch of floor guys, Rob, and I can't tell you, man. It's such a pleasure for me when I get to spend time around a really, really hardworking floor men. And we always talk about how hard people work in this industry. I had the privilege to spend time with the Lawson brothers. Lawson Brothers Custom Hardwood Floors, Jeremy and David Jr. down there in Southern California. Rob, I'm going to tell you something. If I commissioned an artist and I said, I want you to paint me a picture of toughness, of integrity, paint me a picture that includes passion of hard work, unflinching dedication to the craft. When that artist completed it and he unveiled it and turned around and showed me what that picture would be, it would be the picture of Jeremy and David Larson. They are as legit hardcore floor guys as it gets. Talking to them, I mean, their standards are so high now, they've been doing it a long time, that their bodies would reject taking a shortcut, even if their minds would let them do it. I mean, freaking studs, man. Yeah, so it was really cool. And it started me thinking, have you ever, remember that, you've seen those pictures of like in Hollywood where they have a room full of actors and actresses that won Academy Awards over the years? You know, there's that famous pictures. Okay.
Yep.
If they had that picture of legendary floor guys, Lawson brothers would be in that picture. And they would, yep. Go ahead.
How long you known these guys?
I just met them. Well, actually, take it back. One of them was in a school with me 10 years ago, he said. I got to be honest, I don't remember him. But he reminded me that we were in a school together about 10 years ago. And so I don't know. Yeah. So, but man, if they had that picture, these guys would represent Southern California real well. The West Coast could be proud of them. And I'll tell you something else, Rob. And people, I don't know how many people realize this, but when you're working doing floors in California, man, you are running with the big dogs. I mean, there's a lot of competition in there. Some phenomenal floor guys, north and south, and a lot of firsts start in California, a lot of trends start in California. Very tough place to work, and these guys Well, I'll say I'll tell you something else too. And I was thinking about this on the flight home. These guys to me represent what so many floor guys stand for across this country. I've seen these same guys in Louisiana, William Short, and others. I've seen these guys in Michigan. I've seen these guys in Texas and Florida and so many other places, man. And I'm proud to say I've seen it my own brothers. I'm going to say that uh, without hesitation. Um, and if our listeners are listening to this, you know what? They're probably saying the same damn club, right? And I probably just described them as well. So yeah, man, it was a really a treat for me. And when several floor guys get to hang out together and they've never met each other before, there's some other guys there, and I'll talk about that in a minute. There's an instant connection, right? An instant level of respect. You probably see it in your schools. Um, I would imagine it's the same like if two former NFL players meet somewhere at a bar or restaurant somewhere. You know what I mean? That level of respect is there, and it's kind of cool to see it. Um, and they exchange pictures of different jobs that they've done. You know what I mean? And so
In
nobody
the
else can.
schools, in the schools, those guys seem to gravitate toward each other, and I love it when they really start looking out for the new guys and the young guys during the school, and kind of taking them under the wing a little bit.
Yeah, there's just a level of respect there, man. You know what I mean? And it was kind of cool them showing you pictures of their work with other guys and kind of exchanging different jobs that they were on and what have you. So, there's a great sense of pride, Rob, that you only get the privilege of having through experiencing hard work. And those guys earned it. And I'll tell you another guy that I met, spent some time with, George Rivero with Jace Hardwood Flooring Company. That's JACE, and it's actually pretty cool. He named it after his daughters, the initials. It's him, Jorge. It's Angel, Celeste, and Elaine. So I was wondering where that name came from. But George Rivera, legit, uncompromising, unwavering, dedication to the craft. He's unshakable dedication to excellence, man. These guys, Rob, I would put him in that picture too. Um, when I was sitting there, when I was sitting there with these guys, Rob, as you get older, it becomes more apparent how me and you are withering away. Uh, uh, I'm looking at these guys, man. These guys are bruisers, man. I mean, you know what I mean? Um, so we were there, brother. Me and you, we were there, Rob, and it's not our turn anymore. We don't belong in that club anymore. I'm sad to say. And when people talk
We're
about
now in the 60 over 60 club. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, there must be another club for those guys.
Yeah.
But you know what? When people say that guys don't work hard anymore and this generation doesn't know how to work, I'll tell you what, they ain't talking about these guys, because these guys could hold their own in any generation. So
Yeah. Something. I'm glad you mentioned that because we have got to stop. I don't mean we, you and I mean our generation, the 60 over 60. We got to start lumping all these kids together, or kids, the younger
yeah.
guys are like, oh, they're all lazy. They're all that. I've met way too many guys, young guys in the business, getting in, starting, been in it for a while, kicking butt. They are hardworking people. I mean, anybody in our business is, and any type of success, it's going to be you're a hard worker, okay?
Mhm.
But you see, they just this new generation just gets trashed that they're lazy and they don't want to do anything. And I always laugh when I hear it because I'm like, really, I don't see it. I even look at my own kids. I mean, they're
Mhm.
all very hard workers, but kids who come to the school, kids I work with in the training department, everything, and they bust their butts. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe our dads and grandfathers used to say that about us. I don't remember hearing that, but
Well, I remember. I mean, every generation, let's face it, it says it about the generation that's after them. But here's one thing I think about too, Rob, is like we didn't have the distractions that these kids got. You know what I mean? We didn't have fast food restaurants. We didn't have video games. We didn't have uh, uh, none of
wait,
these.
wait a minute. We had
Wait,
fast food. We're not that
No,
old. What do you, come
dude,
on.
I remember the first McDonald's I ever went into was like heaven, man. It was like I remember the first fast food hamburger I ever ate. It was in South Carolina on the side of a road, and it was the biggest damn hamburger I ever seen. And I was in love. I mean, that was a great experience because
What
we
year was
ate.
that?
It had to be like 1967, 68. So
Okay.
you could look up when fast food restaurants really
No, I'll tell
on
you when
board.
I remember going to my first McDonald's.
Yeah, yeah.
1972. Was it 1972?
I was 300 hamburgers in 1972 by then.
Pretty sure it was like 1972.
It could have been.
Andover, Mass. Yep, we got a McDonald's in Andover, Mass. So,
Hmm.
okay.
Yeah. But so you know what? It occurred to me, Rob, is you and I have a platform, right? We're lucky to have this platform, right? I mean, this is we get to talk to floor people, and we're so lucky to be able to speak about guys like this, about the guys I just mentioned, and to honor them. And you know what? Because Rob, if not for you and I, then who would do it? You know what I mean? I would feel like it's a responsibility, and they deserve to be honored. And I say it unashamedly for these guys. I mean, we have. I think we should do this more and talk about these guys more. There was a few other guys on the trip that I can't mention everybody, but I will mention them later on in the other episodes for sure. But I just came away so impressed, man. I was a little bit jealous, Rob, to be honest with you, because we don't, that's not us anymore. You know what I mean? And that I feel that, don't you?
Yeah, I told you, I've said it many times. I miss being strong.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not at the point where I had to ask these guys to open up my ketchup bottle for me, but you know, there's a difference, man. But what a pleasure it was, and these guys are hardworking dudes, man. And you know what? The craft is alive, man. These guys talk about doing things right. I mean, like I said, they somebody mentioned something about doing something some easy way. I can't remember what context it was now, but they dismissed it outright, like they rejected it. You know what I mean? Like it's not the right thing to do. And so George and these guys, I mean, it was a pleasure. It was probably, you know what? I had a great time on my birthday. I got some fishing in, but probably the best time was hanging around these guys and just seeing these guys, and it made me feel so happy about the guys in this industry. So, yes, sir.
Now, was this just a trip for your birthday? Is this
No, it just happened to.
celebrating yourself and bringing people with you?
No, it just happened to land on my birthday. I got a chance to go out and hang out with some guys. The fishing trip, and somebody else couldn't go, so I got to go. And so I'm looking at the dates, and I'm thinking to my wife, I'm on the road all the time as it is, and my birthday's coming up. I'd sure like to do this. So I had to run it by Judy, and of course, she's the best human being on earth. She said, "Yep, go. Don't even think twice about it. Just go." So
Nice. Just
yeah,
please leave.
yeah,
Yeah,
for God's sakes,
please go.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And we,
take your time on the way back.
yeah,
Get a
yeah.
couple more days in. So where'd you go? Where was this trip?
We was in Mexico, and which includes going to the beach, which means nothing to anybody else. Everybody else has it so much easier than me. They just go to the beach. I got to look at days in advance. All right, what am I going to do about this situation? I had to go to tanning booth again. What was I supposed to do? You can't go out there looking this white. Come on. Like you ever seen an albino deer in the forest? Like how you not look at that?
Actually, I have.
Have you really?
Yes. It
Wow.
wasn't in the forest. It was right in the middle of the road. Almost did it.
Hmm.
I thought I was seeing things.
So I
So you're the albino deer walking
So I
around.
no, no,
So
because
you went to you went to the tanning booth.
I got a tanning booth, man, and it didn't work. It worked okay. It was all. I mean, it wasn't great. You know what I mean? Like I still got a double dark tan, and I was still Snow White. What? How? What? I think it's the tanning booth at this point. I don't think it's me.
Yeah, definitely not you.
I mean, double dark should be at least normal, right?
So you were just expecting to walk out of there tan, buff,
Just
right?
something. Well,
Yeah.
buff is a bit much, but the tan, I would have, somewhat of a semblance of a freaking tan. I'm going to start suing some of these places.
I didn't know people would tan before they go to the beach.
I know nobody does. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. In Southern California, where I did this, you actually get a great rate in the summertime
At a
because everybody's
at a
already
tanning
tan.
booth.
Yeah, it's like who needs it, right? There's a handful of us, but there you go.
Well, you're looking pretty white today.
I know I'm back to my normal. Yeah. Oh, I didn't tan my face. I never do when I go to a tanning booth.
Just the
No,
guns.
just no. I mean everything except my face.
Okay.
That would look too weird. Like you see George, what was it? George Hamilton, that actor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Okay.
And I had a little dispute with an airline stewardess. I don't. It never happens. I always get along great with him. I sat down the second to last row in the airplane. I sat next to the window, right, and I'm looking out the window, and the plane is filling up. I'm looking out the window, and something smells god awful, right?
Hmm.
I mean, what? And then I'm looking around, what could it be and whatever. And I don't want to think that somebody threw up. I'm just trying to think, and that's not what happened. I'm turning on the air, it's not working. Finally, look on the floor. You can see like somebody tried to clean it up, and obviously someone threw up where I was sitting, right? And I have a weak stomach. That makes me want to throw up. So I moved because I thought the plane was pretty much full. I mean, and like 99% of the people were there. So I moved a few seats over. And all right, well, this is a little bit better. So she says, "Is that your seat?" I said, "No." And I try to tell her discreetly. You know what I mean? I didn't want to call it out. So I said, "Just to let you know, I think somebody threw up in that, and it's really kind of smells pretty bad." And she looks. I don't. She goes. I don't see anything visible. You're gonna have to move back in your seat.
Uh,
Now, Houston, we got a problem. So I went and told the other airline stewardess, and she goes pretty much the same thing. I said, "Well, let's just put it like this: I'm not sitting there, so we got to make other arrangements." So it turned into a little bit of a thing. So, but they didn't kick me off the plane.
no cops, no handcuffs.
No, not this time.
You weren't being taped. Nobody taped you, so we
No,
could see you
no, nobody's.
evening news.
I don't think I'll be on YouTube or anything like that. You got to quit right before they bring out the tasers. That's when you gotta
That's when
quit.
you're in trouble.
Yeah,
Mm. How many guys are on the trip? All floor guys?
all floor guys. Yep, all floor guys, and it's just like I said, it was just a good time. Yeah.
Now,
So
what do you think? You've done trips like this before. I've done a couple of trips like this where we take the contractors out fishing and things like that. To me, it's all I've always had so much fun on these trips, but I go back to how hard these guys work. And it just seems when you do something like this, and especially when you're with other floor guys who also, know the struggle, they just seem to really appreciate a day of fishing more than, maybe just going fishing with your neighbor or something like that.
yeah, and I think it's directly related to how hard these guys work. I mean, I was thinking about this when you get in the floor business, right, Rob? Like you don't start a floor company because your family's got it going on. Usually, you know what I mean? I mean, there's some of the exceptions, but usually you're not starting a floor company because you guys got it going on. It's hard work. This is a swing at the American dream, is what it is. What it amounts to me. Like this is, what everybody gets a shot. You can take your shot, and um, these guys. I don't know. I can't. I'm just going to surmise with the Lorsing brothers and George. They're successful because they got a big strong back and they ain't afraid of work. You know what I mean? And a lot of floor guys that all right, well, I'll do something no one else can do, and then he fall in love with the craft and the passion for doing it and everything. So to me, there's something I don't know, man, maybe kind of romantic to me about the floor industry. Whether you got a shot here, you can make it here, you can you can take your shot at this American dream, but and make something for your family and like George naming it after his daughters and everything, man. That's your name, your blood, sweat, and tears that's on that, and it cuts deeper than and hits a little bit harder than someone that's drawing a check every week. You know what I mean?
Mm.
There's just a lot wrapped up into that. A lot wrapped up into that. So, so yeah, and they probably don't get a lot of time off like other people do. I remember when I was doing floors, man. Well, part of it was my fault, but I'd have friends. We'd all have friends that they get a mandatory 4 weeks a year, and when they take that 4 weeks, everything drops dead around them. They don't have to check in. They don't have to worry what happened. When they're done, then they're on vacation. They're on vacation. But it don't work like that for someone that owns their own business at all. You're still working. So, yep, it was a great experience for me, Rob.
I was fishing.
It was great. It was great. Yeah.
What were you going for?
Um, Dorado, and we caught Dorado and tuna, and I caught a marlin. Somebody caught a sailfish. I'm not a
Wow.
yeah, I'm not a deep sea fishing guy. I'll tell you that's another hardworking profession. I'll tell you what, the deckhands work their tails off. And
Tip the deckhands, please. Tip the
yeah,
deckhands.
yeah, they work their tails off. The reason I'm not big into deep sea fishing is because 85% of it, hell, 95% of the catch is the captain's success. Like he's putting you on fish. You know what I mean? So
Oh gosh, yeah.
yeah, so I like to hunt.
Now, big marlin? Did they raise the marlin flag? Was it that kind of boat, or was it a
Well,
small one?
no, they raised the Marlin flag. Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah. That's
yeah.
pretty
We took
cool.
some a few years back. Billy and I took some gym contractors out in Florida, and it was just a just a. I think it was only like a half day. I don't even think we were going to go for the full day, or maybe a little bit more than a half day, and they loved it though. It was hot. It was a hot day, so nobody was too upset that it was over that quick and we got back to the pool. But we caught a sailfish. Man, the captain definitely wasn't expecting it. The sailfish flag goes up on the boat because he was, telling the first mate, get that flag up there. I mean, it was huge. I was happy. I mean, I was happy for the guy who caught it, but I was more happy for the captain and the first mate because they were hugging, high fiving. I didn't realize how big it was. Then when we were pulling in the marina, people were cheering. People
Wow.
saw the flag and they were clapping and cheering. And I was like, wow,
Yeah, it's
it
pretty
was a pretty
special.
cool day. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty cool. Talking about this and listening to you talk about these guys, um, kind of reminds me of some of the things I miss about doing the job day in and day out. For me, I think really one of the things I miss is the camaraderie of the crew. I love being on teams. Always have, always will. And we ran some larger crews when we were doing the bowling alleys and stuff, and I kind of miss that. You know,
Hmm.
traveling with guys, working with guys, part of the team. Everybody keeping everybody else going, that kind of thing. Definitely
Every
miss that part.
everybody listening to the podcast right now is one day it's gonna be the last day they do floors, and it might surprise them how much they will miss it. Even the grind, even the as hard as it is, and all what have you. There's something, no matter what, even if you hit the lottery and get out of this, there's aspects of this job that you will miss. I agree with that 100%.
It's the struggle that makes it great, I think. It's the struggle. And I'm not taking anything away from anybody, but when you're struggling to turn out a floor, and especially one that was a tough one, it's one thing, all right, guys build houses and the house is done and they take a look back. But I think we have more of a struggle. And I think once you achieve perfection or you get that job, you nail that job where it was so tough for so many days, and then you pull it out, there's quite a sense of accomplishment to that.
Here's the strange thing about it, Rob, is and for a craftsman, is that and I remember my father-in-law talking to my aunt one time on the kitchen table. She said, "God, you've been doing this for so long. How can it still be hard?" Well, the reason why it's still hard is because you're always, as you said, chasing perfection, right? You're always trying to get a perfect floor. If you didn't care, if it wasn't, then it would just be another job, and it wouldn't be nowhere near the challenge. But because you get so good, you get chiseled so fine, and you get sharpened so well, and you get so tuned into what you're doing, And there's also, you're always that part of you that there that you can be criticized. There's that you're going to be judged, right, by someone who's got the check in their hand. So all those things make you better and better and better and better and better and better. And then pretty soon you get to be where I mean, your standard is no longer what the customer thinks. That's long gone. Your standard is your standard against yourself. And that's kind of what keep guys going and what have you, and makes it tough at the same time, and makes you just phenomenal at your craft. And these are where these guys are at. You know what I'm saying?
Mm, absolutely. You must miss working with your brothers.
Yes and no. Right now, if they're
Oh,
listening.
wait a minute. Wait a minute. What, is it you miss them and they don't miss you, or?
It's pretty funny. Hey, well, it's probably a little of each. Right now, if they're listening, they're like, I don't miss that son of a. But I do though. I do. When I'm around them and now, and they're on a job site, I feel like I could step right in right now and go. And at the same time, I know that they flat out do not need me and don't want me. Don't want me, I'm sure. But yeah, so for sure I miss working with my brothers because they're my brothers. Yeah.
I mean, at one point, I had on my crew was two of my cousins that I grew up with and my two brothers. So there were, 5 Johnsons,
Hmm.
plus, other guys and everything were on the crew. And, I know if they were listening right now, they might be talking something different. But, you look back at that, the old days, the old stories and everything just seems so like we had so much fun and great times. But
Yeah.
the struggle always gets you never remember the struggle. You only remember, and I know if my brother was here sitting next to me, he'd be probably slapping me in the back of the head or something right now. No, I remember every minute of the struggle.
Well, I actually do too. I remember the struggle. I do. I remember the lot of the hard parts of the job, man. That doesn't go away. I still remember that. But um,
I think that's what I think that's what links all of us.
yeah,
Everybody who's in the wood floors. I
yeah.
think that is our one common denominator that I see everybody that come into the schools and everybody that you're working with and everything is we've always all have that in common. There was no easy way of doing this ever.
When these guys got together for this fishing trip, I mean, in a matter of hours, they were brothers. There's no competition. There's no, you know what I mean? That
Yeah.
because you know that
Yes.
you know that these guys have been through that struggle too. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't care where you come from, what your background is. If you're in this job and you've been in a long time, you get it, and you know that the other guy gets it, and you know that most people you don't understand it, never will. Your best friends won't understand it. So there's something there that bonds us together for
Oh,
sure.
I remember talking about that story. Yeah, friends and family have no idea how hard you work.
Mhm.
Friends and family have no idea how hard you work.
So I guess at the beginning of this podcast, Chris asked, "What are we going to name this?" And I thought, well, hell, I don't know. I just want to talk about the guys I met on my fishing trip and whatever. So I guess maybe this is like just an ode to hardworking people.
The
For
struggle, the
for
struggle of wood floors.
yeah, yeah. So all right. Well, Rob, that's all I got. That's all I have to talk about. We don't have to go in much farther than that unless you got something else.
I'm done.
Okay. All right. Okay.
He don't say much, folks, but when he does, it's a gem.
Yes. All right, Rob. Thanks very much. And hey, listen, to our listeners, we never take it for granted. We really do appreciate it. I would love to hear for some floor guys out there. If you want to get in touch, if maybe you want to share your story, or yeah, and also from people that are outside the United States. We have several people that email us and then text us from time to time. We always appreciate that, and don't be a stranger. If you feel like you have something you want to share with us, then please do. Maybe we can work it into the one of the episodes. Other than that, thank you very much. Certainly appreciate your listenership, and this has been another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob. Please stay tuned for another episode. Did I screw that up again? Everything. So this has been another episode of what the hell do I do On the Floor with Wayne and Rob? All right. This has been another episode of On the Floor with Wayne. Right when I was going to get it right. This has been another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob. Rob? Son of a. All right. Well, last time I swear.
Easy, Rod. Easy, Rod.
This has been another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob. Please stay tuned for another episode.